So first of all, thank you, Antonio. Thank you. Let's start from this peculiar experience that is Birdman movie soundtrack. How did it happen?
Well, it's an interesting story because I met Alejandro back in 2005 when I was playing with the Pat Metheny group. I met him in LA. I didn't know who he was. He came and introduced himself to me after the concert, and super nice guy. We hit it off right away. Then I found out it was him, and then we started a nice friendship. And he was a very good DJ in Mexico City when I was growing up. Him and Martin Hernandez, who also works with him in his movies as a sound design guy. And we stayed in touch through the years, and then in January of 2013 he called me and told me about the project, and he thought that I could be the right guy to play drums on it. So of course I was very excited to do it and very scared to do it because there are not too many points of reference or something like that, so I was scared, but I was confident that he knew what he wanted, he knew why he wanted it, and that with his guidance it was going to be okay.
And the role of rhythm, drums and percussion in particular, has been developing a lot in modern jazz. Its role is much more important now than in the past, I think. How could you describe this contribution to the reshaping of current jazz, in your opinion?
I don't know, I think it's a natural evolution. I think everything has gotten more complex. Harmony, rhythm, melody, I think everything has gotten more complex in terms of jazz. When you talk about popular music, it's gone the other way. It's gotten more stupid, more silly, more simple. But jazz has always kind of been the answer, the antidote to that. Pop music goes this way, jazz goes this way. But I think it's also good when jazz takes also stuff from pop music, from modern music, because we have to remember that that's what jazz used to be. Jazz used to be dance music, pop music, popular music. So I think sometimes jazz musicians often forget that jazz is supposed to be also music for the people, and they overcomplicate stuff too much, and that's why I think the jazz audiences have been shrinking more and more, because the complexity of it, and also obviously because the media doesn't cover enough about jazz so that people know that it even exists sometimes. So it's a vicious cycle that hopefully will end somehow someday.
And aside from acoustic and electric sets, we have also now an intriguing electronic side for the equipment of the musicians. Which is your current relationship with it?
I love it. I think it's a great tool. It's something that we shouldn't feel afraid of, we shouldn't deny it, because I think jazz has by tradition been an inclusive music. If there's something going on that is interesting, jazz takes it, brings it in, and shapes it in a different way. So for example, in my current band, we're using Fender Rhodes with a lot of effects, and EWI, which is basically a synthesizer that you play as like a saxophone. And then my wife also sings, and she puts her voice through a lot of effects and loops and stuff like that, just to get more sound, from the ones that we have available. There's so much more that we can tap into that can make our music fuller and more interesting.
Which were the main achievements, steering and rewards in being part of such a long-term and various musical collaboration with your friend Pat Metheny?
My relationship with Pat has been such a a lucky thing for me to happen. You know, the fact that he has been calling me consistently for pretty much every project he's done over the last 14, 15 years, you know, to me is, you know, it's an honor, of course. And you know, lately it's gotten a little more complicated because I'm doing a lot of my own things as well, and I wasn't so much before, but now I feel like it's time for me to pursue my own music, my own career. Birdman has been, of course, you know, something that has catapulted my name into a different level, and I have taken advantage of that and put a lot of stuff into my band and my music, but I will always play with him, and I will always love to play with him.
And talking about your specific personal career, one of your main current commitment is the one related to your group Migration. Would you like to tell us the main developments of an almost 10 years project and story?
Yeah, lately I feel like the band has gotten to a completely different level, because in 2014 we toured most of the year with the Pat Metheny Unity group, and then 2015 Birdman happened, and then I put 2 records out, 3x3 and the Meridian Suite. So I was kind of ready to go out on my own, and then Birdman happened at the same time. Metheny took a break at the same time, so everything just happened the way it was supposed to happen for me to go out there and force myself to do more things. And I think as a band we're finding our voice. You know, we are mixing electric, acoustic, electronic music, a little bit of everything. But I always like to think of jazz as music with no rules. You know, sometimes people ask me, so you're from Mexico, why doesn't your jazz sound Mexican? I'm like, well, you know, if it sounds Mexican, good. If it doesn't sound Mexican, good. You know, I just want it to be music with no rules that I enjoy playing and that people enjoy listening. And my career is still developing, so probably at some point I will do a project with Mexican music. But right now, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Being also so involved in the educational effort, I'd like to ask which in your main interest in it, your main focus in this field, and meeting so many young players, how could you describe their approach, and which kind of advice do you think you could give to them?
I mean, usually what I tell them is that there's no shortcuts. You know, you have to put the work in, you have to spend a lot of hours practicing, getting better, playing with musicians, suffering, feeling like you're horrible, feeling like you're a terrible musician, then feeling like you're great, then feeling like you're horrible again. You know, it's a long process. But it's very important to not get discouraged. I never thought of doing anything else but music. You know, for me it was never, okay, if I don't do music, what am I gonna do? You know, it was always, it's gonna be music. It's gonna be here, but it's gonna be music. So not everybody can get to the top. But I think happiness doesn't mean getting to the top. I think happiness means being fulfilled, happy with what you do, making a living out of playing music, and feeling fulfilled doing that. And there's another thing that I tell them now with all the social media going on. I tell them that it's very important to be social media savvy and to know what you're doing and to put yourself out there and to put your videos and to put your pictures and everything. But there's a lot of people that spend most of the time doing that and not enough time being good musicians. So I think you have to be very careful with how you're going to use that tool, which is a great promotional tool, but if you don't have anything to back it up, you're promoting something that is empty. So you should do both at the same time, but of course being a good musician is more important than promoting yourself, I think.
Maybe we can expect a drum solo project, and in this case, which can be the proper movie next to it.
Yeah. I mean, I am definitely thinking about it. That's one of the things that I really want to do, because Birdman is kind of a solo drum record, but it's not how I envisioned it. You know, it's just the movie, and then they put it into a CD, which is great. But I want to make my own version and spend some time conceptualizing really what it's going to be.
We look forward to it.
Thank you.
And good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.